All right, two words for you, Jim Russell. All in. Padres win a series against the Dodgers. They're over 500. Padres are 5-3 against the Dodgers. And how about this? San Diego raining on the Dodgers parade. You like what I did there?
Oh,
Whatever that, I mean, we don't need to start there, but we will go there. Whatever that little scene was the other day downtown where there were like hundreds of Dodger fans marching through the city of San Diego as if that's a cool thing to do was not cool.
no.
And the Padres win the series, and they were 5-3 against the Dodgers, and they're 22-21. But the story really, you Darvish, the pitching throughout this series. So as you make your way in, please subscribe. Year-round content for Padres fans will be with you for the next hour or so. Hit the like button for us. Trying to get to 500 likes here tonight. You can follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We'll get to every single super chat here tonight. I saw one from James rolled in before the show. We'll get to that. You can click the $ below the chat box. Of course, you can become a member, which will give you custom emojis as well by clicking the join button down below. But all in all, Jim, a series win. We knew it was a possibility on Friday. We talked about it downtown. They win game one, they lose game two, and they bounce back with a big win here today behind you, Darvish.
Said it Friday. Screw it. Go take 2 or 3. Like what are we doing here? Go play some good baseball. Okay. Continue playing good baseball like you have this month. You've played really, really well against the Dodgers this year. Every single game, like they're in it with the Dodgers, and they've outplayed them definitively in 5 of 8 so far. And the others, there was just these one moments that kind of blew that game open for the Dodgers and gave the Dodgers the win. It wasn't like the Dodgers won like 12-1, right? Like the grand slam the other night. I mean, I know it's other than Miss Lincoln, how was the play or whatever you're saying is, but like
other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Exactly. But I mean, Matt Waldron, he pitched like one of his best games of his career. He's pitched really well against the Dodgers this year, and you could argue like if they just had a little bit of offense the other night, maybe they win that game, but they didn't. And you take 2 or 3 and you say that's great. And the pitching has been what has carried the day here. They scored 6 runs this series and won 2 of 3, 6 total runs, and they won 2 out of 3 games. That's because
how many runs did they allow in this series? 7?
5.
Yeah, 5
6.
yesterday and 2 in the opener.
No, they allowed 1 in the opener, right? Or no, they allowed 2. They won 2-1 or 1-3?
No, you're right. What was the? Yeah. It was 2-1. So they allowed. So it was a 6. There were only 12 runs scored in the series. Each team scored 6 runs.
And the Padres won 2 games. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So the pitching has been fantastic. This whole month, the pitching has been really, really good. And you're getting, key contributions from, guys up and down the lineup at the right moments. Some guys aren't really per se swing the bat totally well, but the home run from Tatis and following up with another home run from Jake Cronenworth. Ironically, I heard this on the radio that was their first 2 home runs since their last 2 home runs, which was also a back-to-back home runs. So the last time those 2 hit home runs was also back-to-back home runs. I think it was May 3rd.
Yeah, it was like 9-10 days ago or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the last time those 2 homered. And ironically, it was also back-to-back home runs like it was today. So yeah, but the story of the day really is Yu Darvish since coming off the IL, 17 total innings pitched, 0 earned runs allowed, and he looks like vintage Yu Darvish. I mean, you have him coupled with Dylan Cease, who is an ace of this team. I mean, shit, if you're going to get that from Michael King consistently on what he get on Friday night, and then if Matt Waldron is going to be doing that, on a not regular basis, but give you that types of performances here and there. I mean, take your time, Joe. Take your time.
Well, I mean, the most amazing stat that somehow the Padres TV broadcast just kind of threw up there as like an afterthought that I
just
tweeted
random.
out.
Yeah.
Which was the Padres starters have done something that hasn't been done in baseball since at least 1893, which is they've had 4 consecutive starts allowing 2 or fewer hits in which each starter has gone 5+ innings.
Jeez.
So let me say it again. It's the first time since at least 1893 in baseball that any team has had 4 consecutive starts where their starters have allowed 2 or fewer hits across 5+ innings. I mean, Darvish today was flirting with a no deep into the 5th inning, and not just no earned runs allowed by Darvish in his last 17 innings, no run. Since coming off the IL, he has not allowed a run 17 innings. So you get Darvish. I mean, Walker Buehler, that's a great time to catch him, right? He's coming off Tommy John. It's his 2nd outing.
Yep.
Did not look vintage. They hadn't seen him since 2021. He really struggled. The back-to-back home run set the tone. Ohtani was out with back tightness, which was all good. Ha-Seong Kim getting hit. It was not, there was no intent. I mean, Buehler struggled all day. It was a 2-0 game.
Yeah.
He just hit him. And this could happen. I mean, over the course of a game, there's 200 pitches, and over 162, that's thousands and thousands of pitches over the course of a season. So I didn't have an issue with it. And the good news is it sounds like he's avoided any significant injury, any type of break, because he had x-rays and they were negative. He'll be day-to-day. It'll be interesting to see if he plays tomorrow or not against the Rockies. But you take advantage of Walker Buehler. There was no Ohtani. They hit 3 home runs. Darvish was sensational. And again, how can you not be all in on this team right now? A chance to get a couple of games over 500 or more with the Rockies coming here over the next 3 days and playing really good team baseball. I think they're 8-3 in their last 11 games. So, I'm all in. I'm optimistic. And let's get to the first super of the night from James that rolled in a handful of minutes before the show. So thank you, James. Appreciate you hanging out. He says that's 4 straight series wins for the Padres. Hashtag beat LA. Yeah, 8-3 in their last 11 games, playing really good baseball. So thank you, James. And then there's JD Gaucho who says door was shut when Freeman struck out with 2 on. Yes, that was a big spot later in the game where Freeman struck out when the Dodgers, they rarely threatened in this game. Maybe one time, 3 times, but Suarez was lights out in the 9th inning, and Darvish was great for 7 innings, and the Padres won again.
Just really clean. I think Tatis said at postgame, like, this was a really clean series. Really good pitching on both sides. And the Padres, I just think that they're playing right now some of their best baseball this month, which is good because they needed to have a good month, I feel like, with the schedule that they had this month. You have the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Yankees, the Braves, right? So you got to play some good baseball here. And especially after the first month of your season where you didn't really particularly play great baseball and you had that 5-game losing streak in there. So to follow that up with a good month is, I think, kind of needed for this club. Because, if you go the first 2 months of the year and you're not playing good baseball, it's like last year just continues to creep in more and more and more and more. And, now this team is so far gone from last year. This team is so far and away better than last year. I feel like at this point in the season compared to the last point of this season last year, they're better offensively. I think you can argue what's happening.
I got to plug my computer. Do you want my computer to die, or do you want me to plug my computer in?
You could have plugged your computer in before the show. That'd be cool.
Sure, I could have, and I could have done a lot of things, but I didn't.
I don't even know what I was saying. They're playing good baseball. 8-3.
Okay, James, thank you for the super. Appreciate you guys. Please subscribe if you're here. Year-round content for Padres fans is the home of Real Padres Talk. You can hit the like button for us. And appreciate the supers. Just click the $sign below the chat box. We're just getting started. Padres over the Dodgers tonight at Petco, 4-0 in front of another sellout crowd. Huge crowds all weekend long. James says Rockies just swept the Rangers, which I saw. Series won't be easy. Yeah, I don't know. The Rockies haven't played well until this past series. It's one of those things where certainly you don't want to look past anyone the way you're playing right now. And like Jim said, what's to come still in May. But, I wouldn't call it hard going in. It doesn't mean they win the series. But again, I think there's more challenging series than facing the Rockies at home. And if you're going to be good, you got to win a series like this. You don't have to sweep a series like this, but you need to win a series like this if you're going to be good.
And I said it Friday, like, you got to start winning at home. You got to start having a little bit of a home field advantage here. And it's a great start what they did to that team from up north this weekend. But you got to finish off the job, and you got to at least take 2 or 3 from the Rockies here so you have a 4-2 homestand. A sweep would be awesome. I mean, you have a sweep here and you get a 5-1 homestand, like, mwah, chef's kiss. But at worst, you gotta take the series here, so you get, into this road trip coming up, starting with Atlanta on Friday, with, coming off of a winning homestand, and I think you would be a couple games over 500 or just a one.
If they sweep,
No, if they took two or three, they'd be one game over.
Two over.
Two over. Okay.
Because they'd gain another game over 500.
Okay. So you take 2 or 3, you're 2 games over, you sweep them, you're 3 games over, and you feel good about yourself, and you're playing some really good baseball. But it all started with this weekend, and it all started with this series. You had to play good against the Dodgers, I feel like, to try to obtain that winning homestand, and they played some really good baseball. Offensively, look, you're facing really good pitching, and so these are the types of games you're going to be playing if you make it to the postseason. Low scoring,
100%.
good pitching, just matchup problems everywhere. Like these are the types of games that are going to be played closer to the end of the season if you're in it, and in the postseason if you're in it as well. And you need to be prepared for those games. You can't win every game 7-2, 7-1. You got to win the close games, the 2-1s, the 3-0s, like those types of games. And they did it this weekend, and I think that's so far it's a good, learning experience for them to win close games against a really good team.
Yeah, I mean, they neutralize really good hitters. I mean, the Dodgers have an outstanding lineup, and their lineup was very pedestrian this weekend. I mean, really pedestrian to the point where Will Smith was awful.
Who?
And really looks like a clown based on what he said earlier this year about Jurickson Profar. He was 0 in this series. Caleb, thank you for the super chat. He says, seems like this series with the Rocks is huge based on our next series against the Yankees and the Rockies. But the next series is
Atlanta
against the Braves, right?
On the road, yeah.
Braves on the road. Is there any concern with our bullpen right now? Kevin Acee, that's kind of on cue. Kevin Acee writing earlier today that a topic of discussion internally for the Padres is the potential need to acquire a reliever. Now, if you watch this weekend, I didn't see it as an issue. I'm sorry. The 1-run Matsui allowed on Friday night, okay, he allowed 1 run. The way it transpired yesterday with the grand slam, I mean, Morejon didn't have it. It was a 2-strike pitch to Teoscar Hernandez. I don't know. I mean, I look at this entire weekend, and again, starting pitching carried the day, and I didn't think the bullpen was bad. So I think it's going to play out over a series of time is my point. You're not going to have a significant trade in May again. You just had one. You're likely looking at July, not June. So I think they have what they have, and maybe they have some depth in their system, someone like a Tom Cosgrove. But I'm not overly concerned. They got an amazing closer in Robert Suarez. They have good starting pitching right now. I think they have enough in their bullpen that they'll be fine, quote unquote, until we get to the trade deadline when they can bolster.
I mean, it's cost them a couple games for sure. The middle relief and the bridge to Suarez. Like, it's cost them a couple games, but every bullpen in baseball costs teams a couple games here and there. Like, no one's going to be perfect. Nobody. I mean, just they're not. And I agree with you. I don't think it's like this massive problem for this team. It is definitely one of those like buckle your seatbelts types of thing when you get into the 7th, 8th inning to try to bridge the gap to Suarez. Like it's definitely like hold on tight type of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's like last year where it was a complete disaster to get to Hader like it is this year. Like this year, I don't feel like it's a disaster to get to Suarez. I think it's actually been pretty decent. Could it be better? Absolutely, it could be better.
There was the one blow up in Colorado, but I don't know. That's one game. I mean, like you said, I think most teams will have a game like that. I don't feel like it's been a common thread that's run throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, and holding close leads is also going to have to be shored up here because Chicago, the close lead in Chicago on that Tuesday against Imanaga, gave it up there, and then last night, you had a 1-0 deficit, and you got to keep it at 1, and you give up the grand slam, but it has not been horrific, guys. Like I don't think people are like maybe overreacting. I think a little bit to it, but all in all, when you have a closer who's going to give you like like multiple innings and go 4 or 5 out saves, I mean, that's a huge boost to your team. He's already given this team, I think, a couple extra wins that they might not have had if Suarez doesn't go an extra, inning.
I mean, the truth is relievers are going to allow runs. So
Yeah,
like it's going to continue to be a story other than Robert Suarez is going to happen. So you're not going to hold every 1-run lead in the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning. It just doesn't work like that. And they're not going to have that bullpen, nor will most teams. But you know what they are holding is 9th inning leads.
Yeah,
which
that's
very,
very
very
important.
encouraging. And again, has worked out pretty well for the Padres to this point. JD Gasher, thank you. Says only bright spot was Nabil Crismat's 2 scoreless innings. JD Gasher is a Dodger fan. I hope Padres fans gave Nabil a warm welcome. I know he did like the point to the crowd during the game. I don't know what type of reception he got as a reliever, but he spent some time in San Diego. So yeah, I'm sure it was, I don't know.
It's fine.
It was a great moment, I'm sure.
Back to the reliever stuff here. The easiest thing to shore up or improve on in a baseball season is a bullpen. Maybe not per se a closer, but a bullpen. There's going to be a lot of relievers on really bad teams that are having good years that are going to be available, and they're not going to cost you like Ethan Salas or Lesko or Snelling. Like you can go out unless you're trading for Mason Miller, but they're not doing that. So again, you just have to kind of get to a point in your season with this bullpen where then, get to this mark. And then that's when AJ will make a trade for a bullpen piece. And knowing him, he probably is already on the phone right now, trying to make a deal for a bullpen piece tomorrow. But still, if not, just you get to you get to the July and your bullpen hasn't completely blown up on you and Robert Suarez is still pitching like Robert Suarez, then AJ is going to go out and get a bullpen piece or two. And, I think the offense has been pretty good. I don't think they need, if you can get a power bat, you obviously get it, but I don't think the offense needs much per se. You just need the guys in the lineup to actually start performing like they're back of the baseball card.
Well, to be fair, this bullpen has been maligned unfairly because I look at these numbers. Adrian Morejon's got a 3.38. De Los Santos is a 3.52. Kolek has a 3.2. Robert Suarez has been unhittable, obviously. Yuki Matsui's got a 4.08. Okay.
Yeah.
And Randy Vasquez, I know he started. He's got a 4.5. Wandy Peralta's got a 3.57. Even Johnny Brito, for his struggles, has a 4.43. This is not baseball's worst bullpen. It may not be baseball's best bullpen, but this bullpen is not if you think this team should be 3, 4, 5, 6 games over 500, you could say the bullpen has blown a game or two. Just like you could say the offense has not performed in a game or 2 or 3. And just like you can say Joe Musgrove had 4 or 5 bad starts earlier in the year. So I would say it's played a role in them being 22 and 21, but no larger role than any other part of this team to this point. As in, they've done their job by and large. It has not been perfect. And I don't think that they'd be, I don't think we'd be talking about a team that's a lot different based on, their bullpen usage to this point. I just really don't.
And when you have Robert Suarez in the back end of your bullpen, it makes things look a lot better.
It sure does. Vector 53, thank you. Appreciate you guys with the super chats. Thanks for hanging out. Please subscribe. Thank you for the supers. Click the $sign below the chat box. We do need to tell you about our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz. We will in a moment. Vector saying he's in Japan right now. It was awesome to go to see Yu's old team, the Nippon Ham Fighters, on Friday, and then watch you deal today, watching it at 5 a.m. Good weekend. By the way, that's really cool. Yu Darvish, do I have this right? Does he have 199 career wins professionally? And he will be pitching for his 200th win. I think I have that right.
Potentially.
He has. I think I have that right because I think they talked about a postgame tonight, but I think that's accurate that he has 199 career professional wins across Japan and Major League Baseball now, which is a huge number, obviously, in today's baseball.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big number, but he's been pitching great. You look at his numbers so far this year and the last 3 starts, especially coming off, the IL. Maybe that, that time on the IL to just rest up a little bit helped a lot for a guy that's almost 40 years old right? One of the oldest pitchers in the game. Sometimes you just need to rest a little bit.
That must have been it. He just needed a couple of weeks off. Maybe that'll work out for Joe.
Maybe. We'll see. Hopefully.
Potentially, we might find out this weekend coming up. Guys, please support our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz, on the wrap-up show. He's been with us since day one of the channel, which is about 3 years. He is our title sponsor. He is a lifelong Padres fan, a native San Diegan, a huge supporter of this channel. If you support our channel and you have any insurance need, whether it's a renewal or a new policy, you have to get in contact with Mark Nimitz for whatever it is. I've got homeowners, earthquake, and life insurance through Mark. He also does auto and much, much more. He can save you $750 or more by switching insurance. If you ever have to file a claim like I did 2 years ago, he's going to save you time and money. He's a great insurance agent. You can click the link in the description down below to get to his website. Get all the information you need, free quotes online or by calling Mark. So again, take it from me. I've had insurance through Mark for years. If you ever need him, he is always there for you. He is a great insurance agent. We'll talk to you about the Padres. We'll talk to you about saving money. And then again, if you ever need him, he'll be there for you as well. So Mark Nimitz, the title sponsor of the wrap-up show. Click the link in the description down below for more info.
Yep, all his information, bottom of the ticker there, his email address, mnimitz@farmersagent.com. When you reach out to Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you.
All right, let's get back to the supers here. Enzo, thank you. He says, to be fair, the Rangers were in Colorado, which is a tough place to play. We've said that a lot over the years. If you've watched the Padres, it can be a perplexing place to play, and it can be a tough venue, even if the Rockies aren't very good. Listen, here's the thing. The expectation here, Jim, and you agree, is like you fall out of bed this week and you have to win 2 games. And you'd love to do more than that. But the expectation, especially as you wrap around this rotation back to Dylan Cease, you're going to have to win 2 of these games at a minimum.
Yeah, all the goodwill that you have built up here and all the good equity that you've built up here for the month of this of May, going 8-3 so far, just taking another series from the Dodgers. Like, I mean, that's the ultimate trip up if you lose 2 or 3 here to the Rockies at home. That would be you just kind of wipe away all of the good stuff that you have been building here for the last couple weeks. They have to take minimum 2 or 3. You would love to sweep. I'm not going to say it's the end of the world if you don't, but if you don't take 2 or 3, then that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt because it feels like this team is starting to maybe catch a little bit of a stride here, and maybe they have a 18-10 month, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, shit, all right, that's really good. Now they're, I think they'd be 5 games over 500 if they did that?
I don't know where they were after April.
I think they were 3 games under, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe they were because now they're 20. I don't even know. They're 8-3 this month. I
don't know if they're 8-3 this month or if they're just 8-3 in their last 11. Are they 8-3 this month?
I think they're 8-3 this month, John.
Are they?
I think so.
They already played 11 games in 12 days.
Let me check.
I think they might be 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, they're 7 and 1, 2, 3. They're 7-3. Sorry, they're 8-3 in their last 11, dating back to the 5-game losing streak. They're 7-3.
So they were 3 under. They were 3 under in April.
Okay, yeah. So sorry, 7-3 this month, 8-3 since their 5-game losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
You go 18-10. I don't even know how many games are left in this month, but 3, 6, 10, 13, 16, 17 games left.
Okay. And would you say the record is this month so far? 7-3?
7-3.
And they've 17 left. So let's say they went 10-7. Just throw that out there. They'd be 17-10. So there's 27 games. They could go 17-10 by going 10-7 from here on out.
All right, let's push it. They go 18-9 this month. Really good month, right?
Definitely possible.
Then you are, I can't do math, 6 games over.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it also is dependent on you taking care of business. And that is the number one thing here. And you can't not lose this series to the Rockies. You just beat the Dodgers. All right. They're marching back up to LA. And you're playing really good baseball. You're pitching really well. And it would just be a huge downer if you just, like you said, John, think that you can just fall out of bed and beat the Rockies 2 out of 3 here. Maybe you can because you're more talented than them, and the Rockies aren't good. The Rockies, like said in our chat here, did they just sweep the Rangers?
They did.
So, look, it's baseball. Anything can happen. Anybody can be beaten on any day. So do not let down. Do not think this series is going to be a cakewalk.
No, but they do need to win a couple of games here. And again, they don't have to play. They don't have to sweep. Like
No.
anytime you win a series, it is a good series. And by the way, good teams win series against good teams, and that's what the Padres are doing right now. The difference sometimes between good teams and bad teams is everyone can win a game in a series. Can you get that rubber match? And the Padres are doing that routinely right now, which is really encouraging.
Yeah.
Arthur, appreciate you. Thank you
Thanks,
for the super.
Arthur.
Says, think Preller trades for a reliever sooner rather than later, or waits until the deadline. I'd be very surprised. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, Jim. I'd be very surprised if the Padres made another May trade. I mean, it could be something that lacks substance, but for it to be a sizable piece, like a reliever that you're going to plug into the 7th or 8th inning, I'd be surprised if it was in June, to be honest with you. Most of this stuff happens in the final 2 weeks of July after the All-Star break, and I'm not expecting some additional shoe to drop with the Padres anytime soon.
The only way I feel like he makes a trade for another reliever if he calls up Peter Bendix again, who clearly feels like it's over his head there in Miami. But other than that, you're right. I would be surprised if he makes a trade for another reliever like this upcoming week, because like the bullpen hasn't been a complete disaster. You know, if it was a complete disaster, then maybe they're playing good baseball, and it's also been they've overcome the disaster of their bullpen, right? And they're playing good baseball in spite of it. Then yeah, maybe I think he might push the envelope and try to make a move, because it's like we can't let this bullpen carry us down if we're playing good baseball everywhere else. But I don't think that's the case. I just don't. I don't think the bullpen is a horrible disaster. I think with amazing starting pitching, and if the starting pitching is getting you in the 6th inning and getting you to the 7th inning, then you have to take care of 2 innings. I feel pretty good about managing. I mean, really, realistically, some games you only need 5 outs to get to Suarez.
Yeah. You know, and I was critical yesterday to the one thing I said about Chill, if I could do one thing differently, and I thought it was fair, was Waldron got Ohtani a 3rd time. He got the first out in the 6th inning. He had thrown no pitches.
Right.
But at that point, you're getting cute.
You are.
And he walks Ohtani. Then Morejon comes on, which is completely fine. Everyone wanted him the day before.
Right.
And in a higher leverage spot. And then he faces 3 batters. He walks 2. So now you've walked 3 in the inning. You're asking for it then.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't care if there's 2 strikes on Tasker Hernandez, and I don't care about the circumstance. And I know they went deeper into their bullpen to De Los Santos. You walk 3 in the inning.
Yep.
It seemed like the Dodgers won't always capitalize on that, but will capitalize on that. I thought they should have gone to Morejon sooner, but that doesn't mean anything different would have happened in the inning. Jared, thank you for the super and the membership. Appreciate you guys. Please subscribe here on Content for Padres Fans. Let's get to 6,300 subscribers. We got to 6,200 on Friday, and that's why I had to do a solo wrap-up show, because Jim was soft and didn't show up. He would have if they won 5-0, but they lost 5-0, so he was sitting on his couch watching the show.
I'm a winner, John. I'm a winner.
What's that?
I'm a winner.
Yeah, exactly.
When I show up, they
Jared
win.
says, great series. I'm not listening to you. Great series. The guys really pulled through. Just wish Bogarts didn't have a 530 OPS. It's actually 565 now. I haven't checked it after today's game.
And we believe in Bogarts on this channel. We believe in Bogarts on this channel.
We believe in He really smoked the ball. He was 0 for 18 before he did have 2 hits in this game. So an 0 for 18 snap by Bogey. Toddy homers, which is really encouraging. Tatis's OPS is up to 784 with that home run here today. So all you can do is hope, because he's not going anywhere, Bogey. All you can do is hope that, what did he tell Kevin earlier in the week? He said, all it takes is 1 swing. Well, he had a really significant swing today and hit a ball 420 plus feet.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, again, I'm not holding my breath on that.
It would be interesting to see the world where Xander is actually playing really good baseball, and to see how much that actually would affect the outcomes of these games. Like, if we went into the multiverse and everything's the same, except Xander actually has like an 850 OPS, how much better is this team?
That's a good point.
A game, 2? Are they the same? Like,
they'd probably be at least a game better.
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue that. So yeah,
definitely.
I mean, Xander not playing well, they're playing well despite him, but also if he was playing well, this team probably would be playing better and have a couple more wins under their belt. So like he is a big part of this team. If you can bury him in the lineup all you want, but if he continues to have a 530 OPS or whatever it is right now, like it's hard to say he's not affecting the team negatively when you have a 530 OPS and you're put in the middle of the lineup and you're going to be up in spots where you're expected to produce. So,
yeah, of course. And that's why there's been a lot of criticism of Bogaerts, because he has failed to come through. What I find interesting is, this team has been a lot better with men in scoring position, right? This year.
Yeah.
But what's funny is when you win, it doesn't even matter. Today, the Padres are 0 for 6 with men in scoring position. Yesterday, they were 0 for 6 with men in scoring position, and they were shut out. The Dodgers yesterday, in a win, were 1 for 11. The one hit was a grand slam. So this was not a series for the offense. As simple as that. I mean, 12 combined runs in 3 games. This was, good starting pitching on both sides.
But this is playoff baseball. Like, this is playoff baseball.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. And you're going to have to win games like that. And the Padres won 2 of them this weekend.
Yeah.
Taco Bell, call 911. Thank you for the membership and the super chat. He says, as much as I would love a 6-game winning streak, this team is winning each series recently. No reason this roster can't make the postseason. I mean, I think that's spot on. There is no reason why the Padres cannot make the postseason. It will be seen as a disappointment, and probably a pretty significant one as we look at it tonight, if this team does not make the postseason. So I would agree with that. I don't think there's some big hurdle right now that says this team is not capable of making the postseason, and here's why. I don't think that hurdle currently exists. Certainly, it's far from a guarantee, and there's a zillion games to be played, but they have the capabilities of winning the 80-something games that is necessary to get into the postseason this year based on what we've seen.
I'm very confident in saying, of the teams that will be vying for that 6th and final wild card spot, but I feel very confident saying the Padres are the best of those teams roster wise. Like, not even close. Not even close. They're better than the Nationals roster. They're better than the Giants. They're better than the Diamondbacks. They're better than the Pirates. I mean, who else? Reds. They're better. Like, they have, to me, out of those teams I just mentioned, the best roster by far. It's just they have to play good baseball. We've seen a really good roster last year not play good baseball. So I'm not saying that they have the best team, but what I am saying definitively is they have the best roster out of any of those teams I mentioned that will be competing for a final wild card spot.
I wouldn't be surprised if they secured the second wild card, personally. I think the Cubs have gotten off to a good start, and I'm not expecting that to continue. I do think the Phillies-Braves dynamic, as it plays out, I have a feeling that those two teams could play well all year long based on their rosters and their potential to add at the deadline as well. But I would not be surprised if the Padres were able to lock down a second wild card. There's no reason to talk about the division. And I hate to be that guy to say I'm all in, but say don't even worry about the division. But I am going to do that. There's a couple of reasons as to why. That just because you've played a team head-to-head well doesn't mean you'll outplay them for 162. And the truth is the Dodgers have been incredible against everyone but the San Diego Padres. Now, if they meet in the postseason, wouldn't that be something? It would be the 3rd time in 5 years. And maybe the Padres have something that could work in a best-of-5 shoot, even a best-of-7 series against the Dodgers. But just because they've won 5 of 8, I think it's great. They go 2-3 from here on out, Jim. 2-3 or better, they win the season series. That's all they got to do. Go 2-3 to win the season series. So I'm encouraged by that. But the longevity of it, I'm not going to put all my eggs in the basket of, hey, go win this division right now just because they won 2 out of 3 this weekend.
You know what's funny? Because I saw a lot of Dodger fans that were trying to cope really hard on social media by saying that, oh, you guys are still 5.5 back. That literally means nothing. Nothing. Okay. We
like me.
Like, I've jumped on the side of that means nothing. And I'm firmly on the side of winning a division would be awesome. But there's just too much data there that says it really, in the end of the day, kind of doesn't mean that much because of the history we've seen play over the last couple of years and really over the last decade. You can make a case that a team that wins 89 games that got hot in the final month of the season is way more dangerous than a team that won 111 games and coasted their way in.
That's a good point.
Like that's just what baseball is nowadays. It's not about, hey, can you win 110 games? It's can you be hot at the right time, playing your best baseball? And that is infinitely more important than anything going into the postseason.
Dude, I don't want listen, here's the truth. And all Padres fans feel this way. Yes, you would want to win a division. I don't want the week off. It's going to be a curse.
Yeah, it
you
will
take
be.
a week off, it's going to be a disaster. The offense will be listless. Some pitcher will be out of routine, and there's a damn good chance they lose the series.
Right.
I mean, who disagrees with that? That's a Padres fan.
It's 100%. It would 100% happen. The Padres could win 105 games, most in franchise history.
Like crap for 3 days.
And they faced the Phillies, who won 85, and they just made the postseason as a 6th seed, and they lose the series 3-2 or 3-1, like
3-0, yeah,
3-0, like 100%. Because guess what? That's kind of what happened to the Dodgers a couple years ago, where
last year against Arizona, even more clear. They did nothing for 3 days with their offense. Nothing.
Yep. And Arizona,
at least, honestly, the Padres series was a good series. They scored 1 million runs in game 1. Yeah. Game 2 was good. All the games are good. But the Arizona series was embarrassing for the Dodgers. I mean, they completely rolled over. They had a week off. They didn't hit.
Yeah. And Rich says the new playoffs kind of favor the wild card a little bit, because if you win you're playing right away.
And you got to win an extra series.
You got to win an extra series, but baseball is so long. I feel like at that point, you're just kind of like the adrenaline's taking over, and you play a couple extra games. Okay. Right. Like, it's playoff baseball, and everybody's going, balls to the wall, and you can sleep when the postseason's over. But
100%.
The biggest advantage of not winning your division and getting that first round bye is you stay on your routine and nothing changes, and you don't sit for a week, right? You play baseball throughout the end of the season up until that divisional round, if you get there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, if Dodger fans want to use you guys are 5.5 back as their like great comeback for losing this series this weekend, I just come up with a better one, because it clearly doesn't work for you guys to win a division.
It's kind of weird that your first parade since 1988 was in San Diego with like 200 people on a Saturday afternoon.
True.
Okay, we do want to welcome our brand new partner here on the wrap-up show, our friends at Finlete. We told you about them this weekend. This is a great local San Diego startup. Their offices overlook Petco Park, spectacular view from beyond the center field wall. Here's the easiest way to explain Finlete. Finlete allows fans to acquire a stake in the potential success of real athletes, okay? So I'll give you an example. I've been saying it this weekend. Fernando Tatis Jr., when he was a minor leaguer, did a deal with a company called Big League Advance, and he essentially traded 10% of his future earnings for guaranteed income before he made the major leagues. So imagine if you, as an individual, could have invested in Fernando Tatis Jr. That's impossible to imagine. He has since, signed a contract worth $340 million. So Finlete has their first athlete signed. It is a Rangers prospect in the Texas Rangers organization, number 11 prospect in the organization, Ashedri Vargas. And with Finlete, if you click the link in the description down below, you can support a rising prospect and get paid a piece of his major league earnings, okay? So he was the top prospect in the Arizona Complex League. Here's the thing. He signed for very little money, $10,000. So the capital that Finlete is raising is going to allow him to focus solely on baseball. If you look on the screen, I'll scroll down here. If you click the link in the description down below, you can see there's like this little scroll bar that shows return scenarios. You can invest in Finlete starting at $96. You're investing in Ashedri Vargas. And based on his success in his career is how you earn dividends. So your $96 could truly turn into thousands if this became like a superstar. But then you could invest more money, and you could even potentially have more dividends down the road. So, of course, there's no guarantees in anything because you're talking about a prospect in a minor league system. But this is a San Diego company. They're interested in acquiring more athletes as well in the future. So you can check them out by clicking the link, Jim, in the description down below.
Yeah, Keith Law is very high on Ashedri Vargas. If you're wondering about his future, Keith Law is very high on him. Also, this company has Mark Grant as an advisor.
That's right.
So Mark Grant, everybody knows Mud, okay? He is an advisor of Finlete. So if you're kind of wondering about this company and you trust Mark Grant, I think everyone here trusts Mark Grant. Well, Mark Grant is an advisor to them. So if you have any questions about the company, you can go to the website. The link is in the description below. And we're happy that Finlete's on board.
No doubt about it. So again, click that link in the description down below. Learn more. Really fascinating company based right here in San Diego. Huge Padres fans, by the way, as well. All right, let's get back to these super chats. Please subscribe if you are here. Padres over the Dodgers. They win the series. They win the rubber match. And they win today 4-0 behind you, Darvish, who was flirting with a no-hitter into the 5th inning. Jay Brandt, thank you for the super chat. He says, my heart sank when Kim got hit in the wrist.
Oh, yeah, it's a big story.
It was kind of flush, and that was scary. He says, I was certain it was broken. My mind immediately went to Cronenworth. Then they hit Tatis, and then like that emoji, like I want to punch someone. Here's the thing. Kim's going to be all right. He's day-to-day. He said that he's feeling better through his translator. That's the good news. It could have been bad. And we've talked about this, Jim, and I know you tweeted out, and I think some of it was probably facetiously about like hit everyone or whatever you said. Walker Buehler did not. I know Walker Buehler didn't intentionally hit Ha-Seong Kim in that spot. That's what I believe.
Was that Walker Buehler that hit him? I don't think it was.
Yes, it was the last. It was the last batter that Buehler faced.
Oh, I thought. And okay, I was listening on the radio, and all I heard from Jesse was it was very interesting how on a 3-1 pitch with the base open, he hits Tatis.
I didn't see it that way. I watched it.
Schulte was hot, I heard.
Yeah, I didn't see it like that. I mean, you're talking about off Tommy John. What's the first thing that you need to get back, which is command? So I just, in a 2-0 game, and a guy that struggled all day long, John, I just don't see a reason to hit him.
It was not Buehler. It was Yarbrough that hit Tatis.
Was it?
Yeah. Buehler hit Kim. Yarbrough hit Tatis.
Oh, I'm talking about Kim. Yeah, Tatis, I'm all for getting hot. No, I'm talking about Kim.
Oh, I'm talking about Tatis.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about Tatis. Yeah, Tatis getting hit way too much. That's another conversation.
Oh, the Kim. Okay, yeah. Well, the Kim stuff.
Kim, I didn't think he was hit intentionally. No. Tatis, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about Kim.
No. But let's talk about Tatis because that's what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about the Kim stuff.
I got you.
The second that Tatis got hit by Yarbrough, that is when I said to myself, like, okay, well, your actions need to resemble what you said.
I agree with you.
And I also know, guys, because people are like, dude, you can't do it. I get it. It's a close game still. They're in slam range.
Game at the time.
Guys, a perfect game at the time. You're not going to go out there. And by the way, Darvish is not that type of guy either, like at all. But what this does do is I didn't hear Schulte post game, but
I did.
Did he say anything about this?
Nothing that was overly strong.
Okay. Well, here's what's going to happen next time they play the Dodgers. A Dodger player is getting hit. Plain and simple. Because that Yarbrough hit by pitch to Tatis, and I didn't see it. I just heard Jesse, and I take Jesse's word for it. Like when Jesse kind of is like, that's what's going on here, then I view it as like pretty much that was an intentional thing, especially when it's 3-1 and you're pitching around Tatis and you just hit him. Like that's kind of Bush, and you can't retaliate in that moment because the most important thing is to win that game. That's right. You had Darvish pitching really well, and this game was important. So I understand it, but I would bet a lot of money, John, that the next time the Dodgers face the Padres, a Dodger player is getting beamed.
I wouldn't, and let's mark this because here's why I say it. They don't meet for 2 months. 2 months is a long way of sorting things out. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, we don't know where the teams will stand. So like when all of a sudden you meet for a 2-game series, and I think the next series is a 2-game series. I could be wrong, but I think it is.
End of July.
And all of a sudden, like if the Padres are like, I'm making it up, 3 games over 500 and maintaining the last wild card spot, you don't know there's going to be a circumstance that presents itself where you're going to hit someone because you might be in a 2-1 game. You might be in a 5-4 game. I mean, it's easy to say until the situation doesn't present itself. That's your point. It may. You're up 11-0. You're down 11-0. You're up 8. You're down 8. Okay. It could happen. But I don't think it's a guarantee. And by the way, Schulte has been pretty upset with opponents so far this year, yet they haven't really, quote unquote, retaliated.
That's my point.
This is not the first instance where he's been upset at Fernando Tatis Jr. being hit.
And that's my point. That's what I tweeted out. It's like, all right, Schulte, are your words going to match your actions going to match your words? Like, are you going to? Because I mean, words are words. Like if anybody's offended by certain words, like give me a break. And in baseball, if I say, hey, don't do that, what are you going to do about it? The fuck I'm gonna pitch my game, right? I'm gonna throw up and in Tatis. I'm trying to get this guy out, right? And until Schulte's team retaliates or reacts accordingly to match his words, then the other team's going to continue to do it. And so I think the next time they face the Dodgers, I think you just get this out of the way right away.
First batter.
I mean, not the first batter.
Tossed.
Not the first batter, but like maybe second inning, right? Maybe not the first inning, but like maybe second inning. Now, the second inning, you'd probably be hitting a guy like Will Smith or somebody. He's not the best player. I mean, it would be kind of perfect, honestly. So yeah, I just think, you're at home. Next time they face the Dodgers, end of July.
I think that's right.
They are 2-game series, end of July, like a Tuesday, Wednesday, random.
Yep.
But I just think that if you are going to be the guy that says, don't hit our guys and we're sick of it, or we're going to stand up for them and we're not going to take it anymore, and you don't, and then you see Tatis clearly get hit. I mean, that was, it felt like clear as day listening to Jesse from his point of view. From his point of view, it felt like it was really Bush. So if that's the case, and by the way, hearing that Schulte was very hot about it in the moment, I just think that there's no other choice, but you have to retaliate in July, or you kind of look like kind of soft if you don't. Like you just are all talk,
All right, let me get to the supers that are rolling in. Guys, appreciate your support. We'll get to all the supers. We will. We apologize. We're a few minutes behind. Just click that $sign below the chat box. We'll get to all of them. Richard says social media was upset over how many LA fans made the trip. I don't know if they were upset. The 133,970 meant both fan bases cared about this series. So while the pushback pitching was brilliant this weekend on both sides, I mean, the pushback is because you have two National League West teams. So obviously there's going to be animosity between the fan bases. I don't have really an issue with there being LA fans. Truthfully, I think even if there weren't LA fans, I think you just would have had Padre fans. LA fans are going to make the trip because they're in Southern California, and Petco Park's a better experience for a lot of Dodger fans. They would tell you that than Dodger Stadium. So it's going to happen. It's going to continue to happen. There's no way to stop it. They did in the postseason, but that's neither here nor there. But I don't think the large crowds, Jim, had to do with it being LA. They could have played the Twins. No matter who they play in the weekend, they sell out games. I mean, they sell out all these games.
Yeah. And I saw Richard went to the game. I hope you had a good time, Richard.
Yes.
So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for the super chat, man. Always appreciate it, even though you're a Dodger fan.
I mean, again, the Padres are second in attendance and first in attendance to capacity.
Yeah.
So they're first in percentage capacity in Major League Baseball, and they're second to the Dodgers in attendance. The only reason they're second to the Dodgers in attendance, surprise, Dodger Stadium seats another 12,000 people.
It almost makes it like funnier that there were a lot of Dodgers fans there to watch them lose the series. And then having that parade on Saturday just made it even more cringe. Like, oh man, guys. I mean, look.
I mean, again, listen, the Dodgers have won a lot of series here.
Yes, they have.
They also lost a series here that mattered in 2022.
Correct.
And they lost a series here this weekend. So
correct.
Those are the facts. Jared, thank you for the
last two versus the Dodgers. Or the Padres, excuse me.
Hey, John, my Waldron prediction was only off by 2/3 of an inning. I said 6 innings. He went 5 1/3, but everything else is perfect. That's very cool. He was, he was terrific. In fact, one of the 2 runs he allowed, Jared, as you know, was, he left with a man on, and they come around and score on the grand slam. I don't think you can really pitch better than that. And he pitched well enough for the team to win. And it was on the offense, obviously, not on Matt Waldron. That was not Matt Waldron gets a loss, but they should truly give him like a win, even though the team lost, for keeping them in the game.
He's pitched really well against the Dodgers this year. I mean, he looked really like prime R.A. Dickey, striking out everybody that game. We were at Nova watching some of that game on Saturday night. And I was like, wait, what? Like, this guy was pitching his ass off. I mean, you get that Matt Waldron for like 3 out of every 5 starts. Like, I mean, that's really, really good stuff.
I agree. Martin, thank you, man. Appreciate your super chat. He says, to AJ's credit, this team is a more complete team. If we get another starting pitcher and another lockdown reliever, barring injury, this team could go far this year. I think could is always a possibility with good teams. And then you don't know once you get into the postseason because there's multiple good teams. But I think could is fair. I don't even know if they need starting pitching or if they're going to need relief help. It's definitely a distinct possibility, but it's hard for me to say on Mother's Day, that they're going to need starting pitching. Maybe Joe Musgrove locks down his spot and stays healthy. Maybe he doesn't. So basically how these guys pitch over the next 8-10 weeks will determine whether they quote unquote need starting pitching or not.
Yeah, I don't know if they're a more complete team. I just think that they're playing like a more complete team, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like the Profars of the world, the Donovan Solanos, Jackson Merrill, Campisanos, like Cronenworth, all of those guys I just mentioned were question marks going into this year. Truly. So on paper going into this season, they weren't, to me, a more complete team. They were a team with a lot of question marks, but to their credit, they have played better and they've played like a complete team. I don't know, and if I could say that they're a more complete team, they're just playing like one.
I think that's a good point. I think it's well said. 619 Cam, thank you for the membership. Thank you for the super chat. He says, great series win, and you was on fire. Good to see Bogey get some hits, and hopefully HSK is all right. Let's get those Rockies, hashtag LFGSD. The exact update here on Kim is his left wrist forearm is wrapped in a compression sleeve. He's day-to-day. The x-rays are negative. They'll wait until tomorrow to see his availability for tomorrow. Would I be surprised if he had a day off? No.
I would be surprised.
It's not more than that.
I'd be surprised if he plays tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, to be honest, like you might get a series off here. I mean, here's the thing.
He's doing, maybe.
I think Donovan Solano is a professional hitter that can put in that lineup. You can put him at. I mean, it's kind of, isn't it weird that they put Tyler Wade at shortstop today when they replaced Ha-Seong Kim instead of Bogaerts back at shortstop?
And Bogaerts let a ball go right through his legs in the ninth inning too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the reason as to why. I think honestly, I'm all for just keeping Bogaerts at second base if he's going to be your second baseman.
Yeah, but then okay. I mean,
yeah, but you're right. Like, okay, if you don't have Kim, it's a fair point. And if you're going to play a Rise, you could obviously just plug a Rise in at second.
And then Bogaerts.
I mean, you got
or Solano.
I mean, you have Kim, Cronenworth, Rise, Bogey that can all play second. I mean, Wade. You have a million people that can play all these positions. So they're fine without him defensively.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I just think that but I'm just saying, like, if they just put Tyler Wade at short, I don't like that move.
As opposed to putting Bogey there?
Like, I'd much rather have Bogaerts there and then Solano or Rise at second, and then whoever's not at second's your DH. And then Manny's at third, and then when Manny's DHing, you have Solano at third. You can put Rise at second. You can put Bogaerts at short, and if you're DHing somebody, you DH like Campisano.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Or you have DH Manny. You DH Manny. That's
exactly.
Idiot.
HBBBB, thank you for. By the way, you said you'd tell us your real name if they won this series. I'm pretty sure
you did.
But thank you for the super. It says LA parole officers had some work to do this weekend. I saw some fights both in stadium, which happens even if they're not playing the Dodgers, and then outside in like the gas lamp. Which is like such like loser energy.
Biggest loser. I mean, really, guys, you're gonna
fights in a freaking ballpark. Like, okay, in the NFL is so stupid as it is. Okay, you're gonna have fights in the NFL. We're fighting over baseball on a Sunday afternoon. Like, are you serious? You're gonna literally go to blows over a baseball game in May?
Yeah, so dumb.
Pathetic.
It really is.
Carlos, what's up, man? Appreciate you hanging out. Always good to have Carlos with us in the chat. He says, best win of the weekend, Stars hit, except Machado. What did Machado do? Do you have any answers?
I don't think he did anything, really.
No,
he bunted
really
today, John.
Struggling.
He bunted.
I know.
If I ever see Manny bunt again, whoever told him to do that needs to be fired.
What was the circumstance?
Well, not really, but The circumstance was, I think there was nobody on his second at bat of the game, and he bunts it and he pops it up for an out. And I think he was trying to get cute because he saw the third baseman back, and he's trying to get an easy hit because he's struggling.
Yeah, but you can't get cute if you're Manny Machado.
Don't get cute, man. This is just like, it's the same thing in like basketball. When you're struggling shooting threes, keep shooting. Shooters shoot, man.
Yep.
You are not a guy that should ever be bunting. Never bunt. And if that was up to him, someone needs to tell him, Manny, never bunt again. I don't care if the third baseman's back. Never bunt.
All right, I'm looking at his game logs. So 0 for 3 today, 0 for 4 yesterday, 0 for 3 in game 1, 1 for 4 in the final game of the Cubs series, 0 for 4. So his last 5 games, he is 8, 11, 15, 1 for 18, going back to a 1 for 4 against Arizona. He's 2 for his last 22, and then he'd have a 2-hit game before. So he's 2 for his last 22 or 1 for his last 18, AKA he is slumping big time.
Him and Bogaerts are both really the anchors of this lineup right now. And that's not a good thing. That's a bad thing because they're weighing everybody down.
You're saying that he's yeah. I know. But they're winning. Consistently winning. 11 games where Bogaerts hasn't hit, Manny hasn't hit, and they're 8-3.
But that's also, but as I was saying about Bogaerts, like imagine a world where everybody's doing the exact same stuff, but you actually are getting production from like the 2 highest paid players on the team in Bogaerts and Manny. Imagine where they'd be if that started happening and everyone's still playing at the same level.
43-0.
45-0. They've only played 43 games.
They'd be in first place. Irie Fangeek, thank you. He says, you is hungry for Dodger blood, hungry for his first no-hitter, hungry for that first Cy Young, hungry for his first championship. You will age like fine wine. I don't know how he's going to age. His stuff's filthy, and clearly he's got it going right now. Clearly whatever he's doing is working. So his stuff can be filthy. He can be virtually unhittable. We've seen that before. You do fear his age and his health and the fact that he has been on the IL 3 of the last 4 years. I think I have that right. And he's finished 2 seasons on the IL as a Padre. But the way he's pitching right now, keep this thing rolling for you, Darvish.
Yeah, whatever he's doing, you don't have to push him. Like the 5 innings they had, that's great. And then today you get the 7 innings because he was lights out, right? Yeah. But you need this guy healthy, and he's one of the oldest pitchers in baseball. So you can't push him like he's 23. You got to make sure that you preserve him and that he is healthy throughout this year and pitching his best baseball. Down the stretch.
I'm looking. Yeah, how old is he? He's 37, right?
He's old. Is he older than that? And he's 38, maybe.
Okay, is he 38?
I don't know. 37, 38, 39. He's
getting up there is the point. He's old. He's not the oldest, but he's old.
Right.
Tanner, thank you. He says, I just prefer to retaliate by just handing the team an L day, but maybe that's just because the Padres have never been that type of team, the type of team to retaliate or the type of team to hand a team an L as opposed to retaliating. Yeah, the Padres don't scream like the most retaliatory team in baseball history.
No.
I do think that's fair. Not to say they've never retaliated because that would be unfair as well. I don't know. Tatis has been hit a lot, and there's been some other players that have been hit. And there's probably been some intent occasionally from opponents this year for whatever reason. I think Tatis has probably been hit with intent multiple times this year. So what are they going to do about it? Stay tuned, I guess.
Yeah. This whole, like, yes, the best thing is to get a win. That is the number one thing, right? But if Schulte never said what he said, then I don't think I'm saying that they need to do something to retaliate here. Because when you say things like Schulte did about how he's not going to take it anymore and they're going to, if teams start doing it again, like they're going to answer back and they're going to not retaliate per se. He didn't say those words, but pretty much he's implying that they will retaliate.
Mm-hmm.
And then it happens again in a not pretty clear, but it felt like it was a clear, pitch that was thrown at him and you don't retaliate. Right. That's even worse. Because now it's like you're letting yourself being walked all over by just saying stuff and not backing up your words with action. So it's like they have to, next time they play the Dodgers, or maybe not the next time per se, but whenever they face the Dodgers this year, there has to be at least one instance where they let them know that shit ain't happening anymore. We're not doing that.
I agree. I agree with you, but hear me out on the other side of the coin. And I agree with you, but I'll give you the other side would be you don't have to wake them up.
Sleeping Giant.
They're going to be good. It's not like this team's going to evaporate, but I'm saying whatever the Padres are doing against the Dodgers has worked. Keep doing that. Your point is valid. Your point's spot on in terms of what's right or what they should do. But it's like you're 5-3 against these guys. If I don't know what it's going to take to go 3-2 in the final 5 games or better, for example, but if you can do that and it doesn't involve retaliating, I'm fine with that too. Well, so I understand what you're saying. What I would not like to see is all of a sudden Freddie Freeman gets hit and it changes everything.
Well, then wait till the final game. I mean, even though wait till the final, but I just think, and I agree with you, John. Like I would have preferred maybe Schultz not say that, because now you're putting your team in a situation where if that happens again, that you have to retaliate or you're going to look extremely soft, right? And you can easily be viewed as a team that can be walked over in these types of moments, right? But because he said it, it changes everything. And maybe I don't agree with it, and maybe you don't agree with it, but he said it, so now I'm expecting them to do something because of it.
Right. I'm trying to, yeah. No, I think it'll be interesting. It's something to keep an eye on, definitely, when they meet in July. Keaton, appreciate you. He says, we rest Merrill and Campusano against lefties like Saturday. Seems like we always lose when we do. Why not rest Xander or a veteran instead? They're 20 years old. Or they are 20. Well, here's the thing. Xander will be getting more days off if he doesn't hit.
Right.
Okay?
Correct.
And Merrill and Campy will play more as the season goes on if you're relying on them. I have no problem with sitting guys that don't hit lefties against good lefties. Now, we can, with the benefit of hindsight, say, well, they didn't score, so why not play Merrill and Campusano? Well, okay, or Cronenworth. Well, they didn't score, so it's easy to say that. But, listen, they're not platooning Merrill, but he is going to sit against good left-handed pitching, and that's happened a few times. I'm not opposed to it. That's called good baseball. That's called playing to the percentages and the numbers. So, and over 162, how many times have I said this, guys? You're going to use your 26-man roster. You don't run players into the ground. Bob Melvin did it last year, and I don't fault him for doing it. How could you sit Manny Machado or Fernando Tatis Jr. when your team sucked? You felt like those guys would get you going. How could you sit Tatis when you're not winning? But to get through 162, and they kind of are winning right now, let them do it this way. You don't have to play Jackson Merrill 162 games his rookie year. And he's not going to, obviously. He's still going to play a lot. He's going to play a lot, guys.
And this lineup is not dependent on what Jackson Merrill does.
Despite the fact that he was great today.
Amazing today. He is, to me, anytime he does anything, that's, to me, considered like a bonus. Because you're expecting more out of your middle of the order and the top of your order. And they need to get it going. And when Jackson does what he does today, that's great. But if he's in the lineup on Saturday night and he goes over 4, it's not like it's not the same over 4 if Manny goes over 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And here's the truth. Merrill has been terrific in terms of what the expectations were, maybe February 1st. But let's be clear. He will struggle to have a 700 OPS this year.
Probably,
He will struggle to have a 700. And by the way, that's not the end all be all. Trent Grisham didn't have, I don't even know if he had what was his OPS? 650, maybe?
Maybe.
So
he had like 195.
Exactly. And I don't even know if it was 650. It might have been 600. I have no idea. I don't have it in front of me. But my point is, Merrill's been really good. He'll hit for average. Hopefully he keeps that thing at 270 something. He's clearly not going to hit for power right now. I think at some point in his career, he absolutely could hit for power. So he will struggle to have a 700 OPS, but he's a valuable defender. He's a big piece of the team. He's going to hit 270 something, which is great, hopefully, for a rookie. So it's all encouraging. But sitting Jackson Merrill here or there, again, to me, is not the end all be all.
And now here's the thing, too, though, is if these are going to be the lineups that you see with tough lefties on the mound, well, then that lineup has to do some damage versus the lefties. Sure. Because if that's the case,
you got Jose Azocar, who's hitting 600 this year.
But you get my point, John. If you put out that lineup and they continue to, struggle versus a left-handed hitter, then maybe like you should not continue to put that lineup out there.
True.
Is my point.
I guess my question, I'd have to, like Keaton said, we keep losing when this happens. I need to see the stats. Like, is it like what has Azokar hit when spelling Merrill? Well, Azokar's hit like 320 in the year, so clearly he hasn't been the reason as to why they're not winning those spots.
I mean, you're putting Higashioka in there to catch Waldron. That's the reason why he's in there. You're not putting.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Great point. He's caught him every start, right?
Right. He is the catcher, and you have to get Campusano off his feet. Like, that's the long game. Campusano, guys, if you look at his numbers, I don't think he's played more than 40 games at catcher in a full season, and probably that's even too high, to be honest with you.
And we're going to ask him to catch 90 plus.
Right. So think about that when you see that Campusano's out of the lineup and he's not catching. That this is a guy that this is his first year as a full-time catcher in the big leagues, and to say, hey, I know the most you've ever caught in a season, and I don't know the exact number, but to say like
it's
30, right? Guess what? Now you're going to catch 110. Good luck. And oh, by the way, we also need you to hit. Like, what? So
great point.
Like, they're gonna give him a day off, and I understand it. It feels like whenever that lineup's out there, it's like, oh, here we go again. But you know how that lineup can actually do well and have everybody not saying, oh, here we go again, is Manny's still in the lineup, Tatis is still in the lineup, Bogarts is still in the lineup. If those guys were doing anything, then we wouldn't be complaining about Campy sitting and Merrill sitting. Because those two guys, frankly, should not be the driving force in why this team wins games or not. They are the complementary pieces.
So to your point, this is how many games he's caught in the big leagues. In 2021, 9. Okay. In 2022, 9.
Okay.
In 2023, 37.
Okay.
In 2024, 31.
So there you go.
31 games.
37 is his most. Is a career high. 37 games caught.
He's already started behind the plate 31 times.
He hasn't even caught coming into this year. He didn't even catch 50 games in his entire career leading into this season.
Like, he's been asked to catch a ton.
So yeah, when Campy's on the bench, when Merrill's on the bench, it's not like they're like, okay, we're sitting Machado and Tatis for Zokar, and we're putting Solano at third for Manning. He's getting an off day, and then Bogarts is coming out of the lineup. And you know what? I think we're gonna put in Tyler Wade for Luis Arraez. That's not what they're doing. They're just, the bottom of the order is a little different because Jackson Merrill's out and Campusano's out, and they're putting in Ozokar and Higashioka. Okay, if those two guys are ruining everything on those days, then you're blaming the wrong people. It's not their fault if this team goes scoreless in games when they sit Campy and Jackson. It's Manny needs to step up. Bogarts needs to step up. Tatis needs to step up. Those are the guys that need to consistently hit against left-handed pitching because they have the best matchups, and they're not doing it.
I mean, and guys off the bench start. I mean, every week, bench pieces will start. So just like, take that out of the equation. Every week, Tyler Wade gets to start. Every week, Kyle Higashioka gets to start. Every week, Jose. And by the way, some weeks they get 2 starts, and that's just baseball.
Right.
Okay, guys, we need to remind you about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy who have an amazing offer for you if you use promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. You'll get a 50% deposit match up to $250 in bonus cash plus a free pick, okay? So what that means is if you deposit $500, I get it, a lot of money. You're getting $250 in bonus cash, which is the most they've ever offered. You could deposit $100 and get $50 in bonus cash. You could deposit $10 and get $5 in bonus cash, plus you're getting a free pick. It's never been simpler or easier to win. Me and Jim are playing each and every day. You can play across sports with the pick'ems, NBA, Major League Baseball. As simple as this: higher than 27.5 points for Jason Tatum tomorrow against the Cavs, okay? Then you pull up the Padres and the Rockies, who aren't yet listed. But you can pull up any game. Like the big, like Cincinnati, Arizona game. And you say Ellie De La Cruz is going to homer.
Perfect.
And then just 2 for 2, $10 pays $127.50. Okay.
Ooh.
So 2 for 2. And by the way, you can play up to 5 different combinations in the pick'ems, and you can win 100 times your money in
Yeah.
a single night. 10 turns into 1,000. 20 turns into 2,000. Okay. Use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. And again, get that 50% deposit match plus the free pick. Really an incredible offer going on right now at Underdog Fantasy. We were playing this weekend, Jim, when we were at Novo. Both of us played Saturday.
We did. Didn't work out that well. Should have listened.
Maybe not.
Should have listened to Erin. She had the right picks.
She had some winners.
She did. She first inning, the Matt Waldron, 1.5 total strikeouts. She said, do that one. And I said, do higher on 1.5 total strikeouts. And she thought I said higher than 1 strikeout, or higher than that. Like he would get a strikeout, basically, and we would have won. And I didn't bet it. And yeah, that was a problem. So always listen to your wife. And also scan the QR code right there. It'll take you to the Underdog Fantasy app on the App Store. Download the app, promo code PODSWRAP. Great deals happening right now. You can get free money from Underdog Fantasy to win real money. Like that is the best combination possible. Getting free money for your first deposit to win real money and win some big time real money with some free money. So there it is right there. Scan the QR code. Boom.
And also, while we have a moment, I do want to remind our viewers as well about our longtime partner here on the wrap-up show, our friends at Aura. That is ORA.organic. You can click the link in the description down below if you're looking to get healthier. They have plant-based nutritional products, every single one of them. The probiotic I've taken for like 700 straight days, which is crazy. It is absolutely crazy, but it's an amazing product for digestion, heart health, mental clarity. There's so many reasons to take a probiotic. They have an amazing one. I've taken it for 2+ years. They have pre-workout supplements. They have omega-3 oils. If you're taking a fish oil, you can take the omega-3 oil from Aura. They have proteins. They have immunity pills, sleep pills, and more. So if you support the channel, they do as well. Their co-founder, Will, longtime supporter, huge Padres fan, offices in Liberty Station, great company. If you're looking to get healthier and support the channel, click the link in the description down below or go to ORA.organic.
Yeah, everything to live a healthy lifestyle. They have it. Protein powder for waking up in the morning, getting a quick protein shake in, or after your workout. They also have pre-workouts as well. Delicious raspberry lemonade flavor. All of it. So go to Aura right now, www.ora.organic, to live that healthy lifestyle. And once you pick up some supplements, try it out and you'll thank us later.
All right. So Padres and Rockies again tomorrow. And 3-game series. I mean, join us tomorrow, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, free iHeartRadio app, or on YouTube. We have a separate YouTube channel for John and Jim. Find us, search for John and Jim 760. We will be talking about this series win over the Dodgers, looking ahead to Monday night at Petco Park. 3-game series, and then the trip. They're off Thursday, then they'll be in Atlanta. And again, what I said to start the show is what I'll say probably to start John and Jim. I don't know how you can't really be all in. That doesn't mean you think they're going to win the World Series or win the division. But, if you're not optimistic about the Padres right now, you haven't been watching the Padres, who have won 8 of their last 11 games. So I don't know if that trend continues, but they have played good baseball, and it's been enjoyable to watch the way they've played, Jim, over the last 2+ weeks.
It has told us a lot about this team, how they've played over their last 11 games right after they lost 5 in a row. Like, that's very encouraging to lose 5 in a row, to have doubt creep in, to have last year's mindset for the fans creep back in, and then to go 8-3 over your next 11 while winning series versus everybody. That's what you want to see out of your favorite team, and they've shown some grit and some heart, and you love to see it.
By the way, real quick, so yesterday I was over at Jim's house because we were like getting ready for his wedding, and I'm officiating it, as we've talked about a million times.
I still have some donuts left, by the way.
I brought donuts. I brought 4 donuts to Jim and Aaron, which is like the worst thing I could do because Aaron does not want donuts as she gets ready for this wedding.
Correct.
But anyway, so Jim's eating donuts left and right. He doesn't care.
Greatest donuts ever, by the way. That cookie dough donut. Oh my God.
Amazing. Sidecar. Okay. And So Jackson Merrill today, before the game, had 3 donuts. Jim had 4 yesterday. Jackson Merrill, 3 donuts, 3 hits. Jim yesterday, 4 donuts. That was it.
4 donuts, and I bought a plunger.
Because of the donuts?
No, I bought those like no, not because of the donuts. I'm just saying my reward for eating 4 donuts was Aaron telling me that I needed to buy one of those like hair uncloggers, like you put the drain snakes down there and you pull it out and it gets all the hair out of the drain.
Oh, dude, wait, for like a shower drain or something?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my reward.
Does that thing work?
Oh, yeah, it does.
Or did it?
You get, yeah. So
That's what
Jackson
I call
Merrill
it,
had 3 hits versus the Dodgers. I was told to buy a drain snake.
Welcome to marriage, man.
Yeah, it's great. Yay.
All right. Subscribe, please. We'd love to get to 6,300 subscribers during this Rockies series. Please subscribe. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the super thanks. We truly appreciate those for those of you that are watching on replay. And support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. If you have an insurance need, Finlete, make sure to check him out by clicking the link in the description down below. Our brand new partner here on the Wrap-Up Show. Aura, if you're looking to get healthier. And again, scan that QR code if you want to play Underdog Fantasy with us. Use promo code PODSWRAP. Get that 50% deposit match up to $250 in bonus cash, plus the free special pick. We will see you tomorrow on John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Then tomorrow night on the Wrap-Up Show for Jim, I'm John. Good night.